in order, if you're going to tell someone a story, if you want to keep information alive, you have to make it memorable so that the person hearing it will go tell someone else. This is how it stays alive.
My name is Constanza Romero Wilson. I'm the executor of the August Wilson Estate. We are based here in Seattle, Washington. You know, if there's one thing that August Wilson was about, was the truth. He would be getting up in the morning and he would be using his pen as usual, like his sword.
Every place has its significance and its purpose and its importance, and the importance of this space is performance.
August would have been absolutely delighted with the African American art that is being sustained and performed and shown at the center.
It's incredibly important to keep August Wilson's legacy alive because his plays not only tell the story of the African American experience in Pittsburgh, but it also charts the history of the United States in the 20th century. And it's something that we can all recognize, whether you're black, white, whatever. It's the story of America.
As the August Wilson African American Cultural Center continues to look toward the future, we will become known globally for the power of our programming. The organization will remain steadfast in celebrating the African American experience and the African diaspora.
Symphony. She's only known as Symphony.
Good evening and welcome to the Governor's Awards for the Arts. We're so lucky to have such a wonderful facility like the August Wilson Center, as we were so lucky to have August Wilson, one of America's great playwrights, and his work certainly live on here in this community. And we're lucky that we have tonight with us the governor and his wife, Frances Wolf, the First Lady. You know, the arts are so important to Pittsburgh and our economy. One of the things about Pittsburgh, we do a lot of things well, but I think when it comes to the arts, we really punch above our weight when it comes to the things that we do. I'm going to give a couple of economic statistics, and then the mayor's going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we do. You know, it supports a $2 billion industry here in Allegheny County. 32,000 people work in the arts, and people who work in the arts also work in their community. In last year alone, 16,000 people volunteered, over 800,000 volunteer hours in our communities throughout this county. So we are so fortunate that we have the arts and what they do and make our community so much better, improve our quality of life, make our neighborhoods enhanced, make our communities enhanced. Also lucky that for the first time in over 20 years that Pittsburgh is hosting the awards. And we're proud that 4 of the 5 award winners tonight are Pittsburghers. So we're so proud of Vanessa, Roger, Joe, Jordan, and Mary. Congratulations to everybody. So now let me turn it over to my good partner, who also is a huge, huge supporter of the arts, our mayor, Mayor Bill Peduto.
Thanks, Rich. Tonight we celebrate the accomplishments of 5 very diverse artists, 4 from Allegheny County, 1 from Lancaster. That's a joke. No, we celebrate their accomplishments, and we recognize and welcome this great event back to Pittsburgh. You know, this is the first time that the Governor's Awards have been held at a location named after one of the previous awardees. August Wilson won the award back in 1990. And it's a crowning accomplishment of the work that's been done here over the past several years, when the community decided that this treasure was too great to lose, and we came together as one in order to be able not only to save it, but to create it into the vibrant location that the dream was always that it could become. I want to thank Janice and her team for their incredible leadership in lighting this stage almost every night, in packing this house, and extending the cultural district all the way down to 10th and 11th Streets. 5 incredible Pennsylvanians, 4 of which call Allegheny County home, all of which stayed during difficult times when it was difficult to get funding to the arts. It was difficult to be able to recognize through an economic depression and a recession the importance of the arts, not simply as an amenity, but as a necessity. Fortunately, we had visionaries back in those days who doubled down, building not only this theater, but building the Andy Warhol Museum, building the Cultural District, building and putting into a city that was at the time struggling economically, the importance of arts, culture, and parks as a critical component for when Pittsburgh came back. We also want to thank the governor, who has made it a commitment to the preservation of the culture, heritage, and history of Pennsylvania, and has made sure that that has been reflected in the budgets he has passed. And to the First Lady, Frances, an accomplished artist herself, who has made sure that the governor has kept that commitment. It's an honor to be here with you this evening. We look forward to celebrating those 5 great artists, and we look forward to the continuation of Pittsburgh as a center of creative activity.
Please welcome the Governor and First Lady of Pennsylvania, the Honorable Tom Wolf and Frances Wolf, Jeffrey Parks, Chair of the Pennsylvania Council on the Arts, and tonight's honorees. Please welcome Janice Burley Wilson, President of the August Wilson African American Cultural Center.
Good evening. Welcome honorees, guests, and friends to the 2019 Governor's Awards for the Arts. I'm Janice Burley Wilson, President and CEO of the August Wilson African American Cultural Center. Our mission is to be a home for the arts, storytelling, learning, and exchange of ideas around the African American experience and the rich culture of the African diaspora. Our work is guided by the enduring truths and values evident in the work of Pulitzer Prize-winning Pittsburgh-born playwright August Wilson. Mr. Wilson received a Governor's Award for Excellence in the Arts on May 1st, 1990. Nearly 30 years later, we're thrilled to host this very important event for the state of Pennsylvania in this building named for August Wilson. I'm delighted to introduce the archival video record of August Wilson accepting his Pennsylvania's Governor's Award for the Arts. We believe this may be the first time it has been seen publicly since that day. The ceremony took place in the state Capitol Rotunda, and August Wilson received his award from then Governor Robert P. Casey. We are grateful to the Pennsylvania State Archives, the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission, and the Pennsylvania Council on the Arts for sharing this moment that means so much to Pennsylvania and to August Wilson's beloved Pittsburgh.
I am standing here in my grandfather's shoes. They are large shoes. They are the shoes of a whole generation of men who left a life of indignity, exclusion, and sometimes unspeakable brutality in the South and came north, searching for jobs and a way to live life with dignity in whatever eloquence their heart could call upon. They came carrying Bibles and guitars, their pockets lined with dust and fresh hope. They were free men of definite and sincere worth, whose ancestors had been in the country since the early 17th century. Their ancestors had come to work on the vast agricultural plantations in the South. They came in chains, lived in dirt floor cabins, and made do without surnames. They lived in a world that refused to recognize their language, their gods, their customs, and even their humanity. When my grandfather and the men of his generation came north, they came fully clothed in manners and a way of life. They were living proof that the African who arrived on the shores of North America, chained and malnourished in the holds of a 350-ton Portuguese vessel, had not vanished into thin air. For they brought with them rituals of intercourse, ideas of justice and morality, eating habits, responses to pleasure and pain, concepts of beauty and language. In a word, they brought a culture that was fired in the kiln of slavery and survival. They were and remain a testament to the resiliency of the human spirit. And it is out of that culture and out of that spirit of testimony and celebration of their lives that I make my art. It is that which you are honoring today. I thank you. My grandfather thanks you. By honoring me, you are honoring him. And by virtue of that, you are honoring yourselves. Thank you.
Please welcome this evening's special guest artist, jazz trumpeter extraordinaire, Sean Jones.
Good evening. Thank you, Sean Jones. Let's hear it again. With Tony DePaulis and Tom Wendt. That was a great way to start this evening. My name is Jeff Parks, and I came 300 miles from another former steel town in Pennsylvania, Bethlehem, to be with you this evening, and I wouldn't have missed it for anything. Like Pittsburgh, Bethlehem has fostered the arts to encourage the rebounding of our community, knowing that the arts foster community and economic development. And we're here to celebrate a lot of wonderful artists who have chosen to call Pittsburgh their home. I am the founder and former president of Arts Quest in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and I serve at the governor's pleasure as chair of the Pennsylvania Council on the Arts, a state agency that supports the vitality of Pennsylvania's communities and helps make the arts and their cultural, educational, and economic benefits available to all Pennsylvanians. The PCA also administers the Governor's Awards for the Arts. Thank you, County Executive Fitzgerald and Mayor Peduto, for your warm welcomes. Pittsburgh and Allegheny County have demonstrated exemplary state leadership, both in sustained funding for the arts and support for cultural innovation and growth. And while I'm talking about noteworthy champions for the arts, I want to acknowledge Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman and his wife Giselle, who are in the audience tonight. The Pennsylvania Council on the Arts makes more than 1,000 grants every year, supporting a vibrant and livable Pennsylvania that is competitive for attracting and retaining the young people and the workforce that we need to grow our communities and our state. We recently launched a new initiative to support a variety of community-based strategies with arts at their core to help enhance quality of life and support local economic and revitalization initiatives. In addition, the Pennsylvania Council of the Arts' longstanding support for partnerships for arts in education reflects growing research that the study of the arts provides key skills that leads to success in school and the workplace, building Pennsylvania's future pool of innovators and creative thinkers. I'd like to take this opportunity to warmly welcome many current and past members of the Pennsylvania Council of the Arts and the PCA staff from across the Commonwealth. We have an unprecedented attendance for a number of people from the Pittsburgh area, including our current Pittsburgh-based members, Senator Pamela Iovino, Ame, I'm going to get in trouble if I mispronounce her name, Ame, Alaquiva, Dennis Astorino, and Jim West. Also joining us from other regions of the state are Jen Holman-Zaborny, Susan Goldberg, and newly appointed representative on the council, Representative Joe Cerisi. Past PCA chairs attending include Susan Kamenefi, Ann Benzel, Jean Gleason, and Susan Corbett. We're also pleased to recognize Governor Tom Corbett. Can we give all those people a round of applause for their service? And I need to take a moment to acknowledge one of our most dynamic members on our council right now, the amazing Ame Alaquiva and his fantastic team at Momz House, a multimedia production company located here in Pittsburgh. They create, yes, please, come on, give it up, give it up. They created the beautiful video vignettes about tonight's Pittsburgh honorees, which you'll soon have the pleasure of viewing. At this time, I would like to draw everyone's attention to this year's award objects here on the stage. This year's award objects have been created by the one family business in the Commonwealth that can boast 2 generations of past Governor's Arts Award honorees. Nakashima Woodworkers, founded in 1981, by honoree George Nakashima, and now led by his daughter, Mira Nakashima, a 2018 honoree. It is now my pleasure to introduce Pennsylvania's 47th Governor, Tom Wolf. The Governor is a longtime supporter of the arts, who has served on the boards of organizations dedicated to arts, culture, education, and community development. Governor Wolf recognizes the cultural, educational, and economic value of the arts to Pennsylvania's cities and communities. He knows funding for the arts supports jobs, economic vitality, social capital, and the improved quality of life throughout the Commonwealth. Governor Wolf has fought to make Pennsylvania a better place for everyone, fostering policies that create jobs and grow our economy, investing in education and a stronger workforce, expanding quality, affordable health care, while leading our battle against the opioid crisis, helping small businesses, and rebuilding Pennsylvania's infrastructure. Please join me in welcoming Governor Tom Wolf.
So thank you very much, Jeff. I'm really pleased to be here, and thank you all for joining us in this celebration of the arts in Pennsylvania. It's wonderful that we're joined by so many great people here, including Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman and his wife Giselle. And I didn't see Tom Corbett and Susan. Are you here tonight? So if you are, it's good to have you here. We've already heard from County Executive Rich Fitzgerald and Mayor Bill Peduto. And of course, this extraordinary group of honorees. So this is an amazing evening, and I'm really proud to be in Pittsburgh to have all of you help me celebrate this award. Each year, as you know, this award ceremony is actually held in different communities. This gives us a chance to see firsthand how the arts actually helps each of the communities, and that they also help distinguish each of the communities in Pennsylvania. And when it comes to identity, the cultural pulse of a community is singular in its ability to make a place somewhere that people want to choose to invest in, a place they want to raise children, a place they want to build a career, in short, a place they want to live their lives. The arts is also important in education. Access to arts in schools, among many other benefits, helps fuel the talent pipeline of creative entrepreneurs and skilled workers who will ultimately help ensure a thriving and competitive workforce for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's important for our economy. The county executive already talked about the importance of the arts in this area, but as far as Pennsylvania is concerned, the arts contributes $24 billion to the state's economy. And the arts employs 175,000 workers all across the Commonwealth, and they earn a collective $11.2 billion in wages. Everyone here tonight who makes their living from or considers themselves fans of the arts is helping to make all of that possible. August Wilson, again, for whom this center is aptly named, created a treasury of work that depicts the legacy of Pittsburgh and our Commonwealth and our nation. Tonight's honorees now stand alongside August Wilson, who won this award in 1990, and a nearly 40-year legacy of Governor's Awards honorees. Each recipient was given their award as acknowledgement by our Commonwealth of the value we place, all of us, in the pursuit of the arts. Their passion and dedication are signatures of extraordinary creative achievement. But whether we engage with them as creators or whether we engage with them as participants, the arts possess a dual ability to be both intensely personal and to unite us through a shared experience. When we look back on our history, the good, the bad, the in-between, we see it reflected through literature, through music, through painting, and through a host of other art forms. The arts tell our story as a society and a culture in a way nothing else can do. So tonight, as we celebrate the outstanding accomplishments of these honorees, we do so with the understanding that their work is part of a larger and a much deeper narrative for Pennsylvania, one that we can take great pride in, one that we can be inspired by. So my heartfelt thanks to all of you who are involved in the arts, and especially again to the honorees. And now I have the privilege of introducing, as Mayor Peduto said, an incredibly talented artist and a kind-hearted and caring woman, the love of my life, my best friend, my wife, Frances Wolf.
Thank you, Tom. It is a tradition that the governor names the host city the cultural capital of the Commonwealth for the day. And seeing the crowds for tonight's gallery crawl, a vibrant example of the way that the arts activates Pittsburgh's downtown, and sharing the many memorable experiences of Pittsburgh's vibrant, diverse cultural organizations, I believe that we can all agree that Pittsburgh deserves its title. The Governor's Arts Awards were first presented by Governor Dick Thornburgh in 1980, beginning with the actor Jimmy Stewart, a proud native of Indiana, Pennsylvania. Award recipients include Andrew Wyeth, John Updike, Marilyn Horne, Michael Keaton, Thaddeus Mosley, Jeff Koons, David McCullough, Lang Lang, and Mr. Rogers, to name but a few. Past honorees attending include Tina Brewer, Bill Strickland, Susan Kamenefi, Ann Bensel, and representatives from George Jr. Republic. Another tradition in the past decade is a performance by Pennsylvania's reigning Poetry Out Loud champion. The Poetry Out Loud, the National Recitation Contest, was created by the National Endowment for the Arts and the Poetry Foundation to encourage high school-age students to gain valuable skills while learning about great poetry. Since then, the national initiative has reached more than 4 million students. The Pennsylvania Council of the Arts sponsors and organizes our state competition, working with 13 regional partner organizations. More than 110 Pennsylvania high schools participated this year, and over 6,000 students competed. It is now my pleasure to introduce Pennsylvania's 2019 Poetry Out Loud State Champion, Jordan Marie Lewis, a junior at Hershey High School in Dauphin County. In her first year as a competitor, she was first in local, regional, and state competitions before placing in the top 24 at the Nationals in Washington, D.C. Her school-related honors include National Honor Society, National Music Honor Society, and auditioned choir. She's an accomplished dancer and has been involved in local and professional musical theater productions. After high school, Jordan plans to pursue accounting and musical theater. Please welcome her to perform one of her competition poems. Thank you.
I Sit and Sew by Alice Moore Dunbar Nelson. I sit and sew, a useless task it seems. My hands grown tired, my head weighed down with dreams. The panoply of war, the martial tread of men, grim-faced, stern-eyed, gazing beyond the ken of lesser souls, whose eyes have not seen death, nor learned to hold their lives but as a breath. But I must sit and sew. I sit and sew, my heart aches with desire, that pageant terrible, that fiercely pouring fire on wasted fields, and writhing grotesque things once men. My soul in pity flings appealing cries, yearning only to go there in that holocaust of hell. Those fields of woe. But I must sit and sew. The little useless scene, the idle patch. Why dream I here beneath my homely thatch when there they lie, in sodden mud and rain, pitifully calling me, the quick ones and the slain? You need me, Christ. It is no roseate dream that beckons me, this pretty futile scene. It stifles me. God, must I sit and so?
Please welcome Pittsburgh area teaching artists Allison Zapata and Maritza Mosquera, who will introduce tonight's first honoree.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us up here. Thank you for the celebration of what is Pittsburgh and who in it is our heart, brain, and lungs. What is our city? We are art. We are beautiful art. And I'm glad to be here to celebrate with you.
We are here today to honor an amazing woman, Mary Brenholtz, whose work at the PCA&M helps to keep the arts running at such a high caliber here in Pittsburgh. I've known her to be a visionary who always keeps artists and their communities at the heart of what she does. Her wisdom and integrity are inspirational. And in spite of the never-ending piles of paperwork that sits on her desk, she will always take the time to listen with an open heart and mind. It is her nature to uplift others always. These qualities have supported me as a teaching artist throughout my career, and she's a true Pittsburgh treasure.
Mary, you're a bodhisattva, the link that takes us artists, teaching artists, to the realm of the holy work of teaching art in communities, where we can co-create, collaborate, and expand our human creative practice. You're also an architect and a master carpenter of these collaborations. You hold all the pieces needed to create sustainable homes for art making in the places for everyone, such as AIU and jails, veteran centers, elder community programs, hard-to-reach rural and city schools and colleges. Your support for art and me in each of these settings has been important for the residents to go so well.
We cherish you, Mary, in the work that you do and the lives that you touch. We hold you dear. You are a powerful creative force for the Pittsburgh community, and it is because of you so many will continue to discover their creative voice, and we thank you. And now, we'll learn more about Mary.
The arts play the role of common language. We all have our reasons for being and for what we want to reveal about ourselves, and arts provide people with those opportunities. Mary Brenholtz, Director of Artists in Schools and Communities at Pittsburgh Center for Arts and Media. It's so much a creative process. And remember, I'm working with teaching artists, I'm working with teachers, I'm working with administrators who are inviting us in to their worlds or their universes. And what we find that our common language is the arts and the creative experiences that they're all engaged in, and their students as well. Well, I've learned through the work I've done what advocacy means, and it means different things for different people. But my form of advocacy is just allowing people opportunity to recognize and value the essential nature of the arts in their lives. So that's as small as the kindergarten student for the first time with Laverne Kemp touching felt and creating felt self-portraits or figurines, or adults working with Maritza Mosquera to learn about how food making and creating a dialogue is just as important as the typical paint that we think of as the art form. Art means everything. It's the essence of who we are.
Please join Governor Wolf in recognizing Mary Brenholtz, the 2019 recipient of the Governor's Award for Arts Leadership and Service.
Well, okay. I'd like to express my gratitude to Governor and Mrs. Wolf. I'm fortunate and honored to work for Pittsburgh Center for Arts and Media, an artist-centered organization, to be affiliated with the Pennsylvania Council on the Arts, which is committed to providing access to lifelong learning through the arts, to collaborate with dedicated teachers and administrators who truly believe in the value of the arts in education, to partner with some of the most talented, creative, and inspiring teaching artists, as you've just heard, in our region, and to serve so many beautiful, inquisitive, and motivated students throughout Allegheny, Beaver, Greene, and Washington counties. Oh, and in Ohio County, West Virginia, too, this year. One of my favorite passages regarding the power of the arts is written in the National Endowment for the Arts publication, Learning Through the Arts. Quote, "The arts help us all to better understand and interpret the world around us. The arts improve our ability to think critically and act creatively, and offer us the opportunity to communicate our most profound thoughts and deepest feelings. Arts learning ensures that this creative spirit lives on, instilling a love and understanding of the arts to each new generation. Everything I've accomplished may be attributed to my talented and giving mother, Jean Brenholtz, and to my supportive and generous father, Walter Brenholtz. They raised my 5 siblings and me in a home filled with love, kindness, beauty, creative energy, intellectual curiosity, and the infinite possibilities of artistic explorations. I strive to pass these possibilities onto this and future generations. Thank you.
A musical prodigy at the age of 4, touring nationally at 16, one of the finest jazz guitarists in the county, and a beloved figure from the neighborhood of make-believe. Joe Negri is one of the most recognized names in Pittsburgh's music circles. His career has spanned decades. He is a performer, a composer, and has appeared with the Pittsburgh Symphony and such luminaries as Johnny Costa, Tony Bennett, John Mathis, Andy Williams, and the Marsalis Brothers. He's also a groundbreaking music educator at the University of Pittsburgh, where jazz guitar was first offered as a music discipline in higher education as a result of his joining the department, and at Duquesne University and his alma mater, Carnegie Mellon University. His more than 300 appearances over 35 years on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood made him a beloved figure to generations of watchers, including our children. We have a special video profile so we can introduce to you Joe Negri.
Would you play something fancy?
I'm Joe Negri, and I'm a jazz guitarist, education teacher. I teach jazz guitar here at Duquesne. I grew up as a child in the entertainment business. When I was about 15, I heard Benny Goodman's sextet with a guitar player named Charlie Christian. And he made such an impression on me that I went into jazz with all my heart and 100%. I'm living in a neighborhood Music is a complex issue. Improvisation, for example, is something that cannot be written down. You take a basic structure, like it could happen to you. So then you have to do. That's all improv, and it's. I like to hear it in my head and kind of try to speak it. You know, I love this instrument. You know, and I just love to see it passed on. You know, my music is more kind of harmonic and good songs, American songbook, and that's kind of what I teach. I think it's something about the rhythm, the beat, the lyric, what the song is saying. It just brings you all together.
Beautiful.
Please join Governor Wolf in recognizing Joe Negri for his lifetime achievement in the arts.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Governor, and thank you, Mrs. Wolf. It's just so wonderful. Growing up in this town, I almost left here. My wife and I almost left in the 60s, and I'm sure glad I stayed. I'm deeply honored, though, to receive this special award. I've received other awards in the past, but this one is especially meaningful and most appreciated. I really mean that. It is indeed rewarding to be honored for the art that you've devoted all of your life to. Thank you very much. God love you.
I have to tell you what a treat it is for me to introduce the next award. The only award that's given to people from outside Pittsburgh, so please be gracious. I know you will. Taylor Swift was born in Reading, Pennsylvania. But when she comes back to Pennsylvania, she doesn't live here anymore, but when she comes back, she doesn't go to Reading. She goes to a little Lancaster County community called Lidditz, a Moravian community that was pretty much unknown for a lot of folks, but in the world of concert promotion, Lidditz is, like Hershey, Pennsylvania is the sweetest place on earth. Lidditz is the coolest place on earth if you're promoting concerts. Located in beautiful Lancaster County, the town of Lidditz is the home of the purpose-built 96-acre Rock Lidditz campus. The campus is a one-of-a-kind industry hub bringing together top live event creative partnerships. Rock Lidditz opened its first building in 2014, the tallest, strongest rehearsal facility in the world, offering the space and vendor support that large arenas and stadium productions need to perfect various technical, design, and performance aspects of a show before opening night. Dozens of crews from around the world come through Rock Lidditz every year to practice, train, build, and structure their tours. And oh, by the way, this introduction doesn't mention dozens and dozens of stars. So when Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande are walking into the Walmart, it's a big deal. Rock Lidditz brings together these designers, engineers, technicians, and artists to foster a community of creation. It exemplifies the marriage of innovation, art, and technology that Rock Lidditz has placed Pennsylvania in the forefront of.
You want the ultimate live experience? Something that sparks an interest? That moves people? It's heard around the world?
You want to do something extraordinary?
We know that takes work.
A lot of hard work. Long hours.
Countless revisions.
Serious dedication.
And hopefully, a lot of fun.
Doing something amazing demands creative solutions.
Out-of-the-box designs.
Custom fabrication.
It takes science, technology, and art.
So what if you could get all of that in one place?
To build a great show, it takes a community.
Access to vendors,
Production resources and rehearsal space.
collaboration and integration between companies,
And teamwork at every stage.
All on one campus! Producing the best requires the very best. So, you want to create the ultimate live event experience? Welcome to Rockledge.
Please join Governor Wolf in recognizing Rockledge's co-owners Adam Davis and Troy Clare and General Manager Andrea Shirk as they receive the Creative Industries Award.
Thank you to Governor Tom Wolf, to First Lady Frances Wolf, to Jeff Parks for the kind introduction, members of the Pennsylvania Council for the Arts, and those here with us today. We're humbled to receive such an influential honor on behalf of Rockledge and all of the individuals and companies that are part of a thriving live event community throughout the Commonwealth.
Rockledge opened its first building on the 96-acre Lidditz, Pennsylvania campus 5 years ago this week. 100-foot tall, 52,000 square foot rehearsal facility, unlike any other, offering more height, strength, and support than any building in the whole world. The goal is to help teams take their creative vision and make it a reality, bringing together the most noteworthy designers, artists, musicians, and innovators in the live event industry. Rockledge aims to maintain an environment that promotes collaboration, creativity, education, and of course, a little fun.
Often people want to hear about the big names of our clients, artists you'd recognize from the TV and radio. And while we do regularly host artists like this, Rockledge would like to celebrate the work that goes on behind the scenes. Outside of the spotlight, our community offers jobs to sculptors, painters, musicians, theater artists, and many deeply technical engineering creatives. While you won't recognize their names or faces, the employees around the Rockledge community help contribute the specific elements that put the spectacle into the spectacular. The increasing complexity of entertainment technology continues to push the limits of performance and production. And these backstage professionals transform cutting-edge mechanics and technology into something truly beautiful. While there's no telling what type of elaborate elements these shows may grow to include, there is no doubt that further innovation at this critical intersection of art and technology will be driven through the production community at Rockledge.
Thank you for your support in that pursuit. Thank you for providing a structure at the state level to support the arts and promoting a culture of growth for the creative industries. Thank you for the recognition of the unique collaboration at Rockledge. We look forward to building on the award for the arts by continuing to provide opportunities behind the scenes and by setting a standard of excellence in the creative industry here in Pennsylvania. Thank you.
Welcome back Mr. Sean Jones, who will introduce our next honoree.
Good evening, everyone. It's great to see you all here. This is one of the highlights of my career personally, in that I have the opportunity to talk about one of my idols. When I was 16 years old, I learned a composition called Song for My Father. I know I'm going off of that a little bit, but I was given the leeway to do so. So I learned a song called Song for My Father when I was 16 years old. And that song changed my life because I figured out what jazz was all about. And there was a guy named Fred Pugh. And Fred Pugh was around Warren, Ohio around that time, which is where I grew up. And he said, the original drummer from that album lives in Pittsburgh. I said, oh, really? I got to go check him out. And so that's exactly what I did. I went down to James Street, and I checked out Roger Humphreys when I was 17 years old. And it changed my life. And I started to follow him, check him out. And lo and behold, I would end up living here in Pittsburgh and having the opportunity to play with him many times. And I remember at Roger's house one evening, I asked him, I said, you could be out playing with everyone. You could still be on the road doing your thing. What made you decide to stay in Pittsburgh or come back to Pittsburgh? And he said, family, said the music, and community. And that really inspired me to do a lot of what I'm doing now. And I just want to say thank you, Roger, for all that you've done for all of us. And thank you for inspiring this community. Thank you for being the godfather of jazz in Pittsburgh. And without further ado, I know you're watching that screen, but I'm just saying what I like to say. Roger Humphreys.
Why I play the drums? I feel like drums chose me. My name is Roger Humphreys, and I'm a drummer. Music means so much to me because it can take you to another place and in another time. The experience that music has done for me is taking me out of a box because it's really a brotherhood. We don't see one another or male or female like. Only thing we ask you when I was coming up is the older musician would ask you, can you play? And that's the most important thing. When you speak of music being a language, it has been a language for me when I get a chance to play with other musicians. And it brings so many good people together, and I love it because it brings a lot of youth together as well. These two sticks here changed my life forever because I've been able to communicate music through these sticks. I'll give you a very perfect example. When I had the interview with Ray Charles, they brought the music out to me. And I honestly told him, I said, I cannot read this music. He said, take the music away from him. And he sat down, and the notes that he played on the piano and the music that I remember him playing, I played my part through playing my drumsticks. And my drumsticks made music to him to the point that he said, play another one, play another one. And he said, that's it. 2 weeks later, I got the call from Ray Charles to join his band because I had the gift of being able to make a conversation with my sticks. Music is my life. Music is my life.
Please join Governor Wolf in recognizing Roger Humphreys for his lifetime achievement in the arts.
My speech is very short. If you were at the nightclub with me, we would have a lot of fun because I could really talk trash, you know what I mean, do all that. But when I was told, Mr. Humphreys, what you got to do, I said, what's that? You got to write out your speech. I said, this is going to be very short. Very short. And I'm going to read this off so we can get a chance to continue with the program. I'd like to thank Governor Wolf and his wife. It's a great honor, the Lifetime Achievement in the Arts of 2019. I also like to thank my wife and my family for all their support that they've given to me, and my friends for their support. I'm so proud to have my name among these wonderful people that I'm dealing with today. I'm getting off the script, I never imagined that I would be chosen to do this. And I could never, once again, imagine ever be chosen, that it would ever happen for me. I just would like to say thank you all so very much. God bless you, and I love you.
We are proud to present the Sean Jones Trio with tonight's very special guests.
This is wonderful. Vanessa German is known for her explorations of the power of art and love as a transformative force in communities and neighborhoods. She is an internationally renowned visual and performance artist based in Pittsburgh, where her neighborhood is Homewood, has been a driving force behind German's powerful multidisciplinary work. It is also the location of Love Front Porch and the Art House, community arts initiatives founded by German for the children of Homewood. German sculptures are wonders of detail and deep meaning, embellished with found objects and cast-off relics. She is the recipient of numerous prestigious awards. Her work has been exhibited widely and is in many private and public collections. A performance artist, a spoken word poet, a gifted actress, she memorably inhabited the role of Ma Rainey last year in Pittsburgh Playwrights Theater Company's production of August Wilson's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And just this past week, she was honored for her achievements as one of this year's Distinguished Daughters of Pennsylvania. It's been a very special week for her, really. So for tonight, here is the final profile. Thank you.
Art is one of the ways that I came to know through my mother what it meant to be alive. Not only what it meant to be alive, but how to inhabit my life, which means it is through art that I understand and that I'm able to navigate joy and pain and confusion and frustration. So I literally have a tool within my life to navigate me through my own humanity and through my relationships with other human beings and with the earth and with the plane of imagination. Of all the adults who come to the art house, and a little kid dragged him in and said, "Hey, mommy, do this with me." And the adult leaves later and they're like, I forgot what this was like. And they have a moment of feeling and recognizing that there's this thing that they always had access to. Whether it's like a pencil or a piece of paper, that it was always within them. And that when they do that thing, they are different at the end of it.
Please join Governor Wolf in recognizing Vanessa German as our 2019 recipient of the Governor's Award for Artist of the Year.
I have no prepared remarks. Do buckle your seatbelts. I want to first give gratitude to my ancestors. As August said, we came from people who were never supposed to have freedom and resources. But here we are, much to the surprise of some. Here we thrive, and here we rise, and here we make the future with our joy and our creative prowess. So I give thanks to my ancestors, some of whose names and faces I will never know. I give thanks to my mama. Some of you knew my mom. My mom, Sandra German, was a fiber artist. My mother really gave me a great gift and gave all my siblings a great gift by, well, here, I'll tell you this way.
My mother was the first real thug that I knew. She drew and grew a slew of ruthless and wild-winged weapons from the swell of her hips. She raised us up and she aimed our faces to the stars. She said, "See, there you are, shining back at yourself from a billion brilliant light years away. Isn't it amazing? You came all of this way to live in the light of your own shine. So don't believe them when they tell you that the very best that you can do and be with your life is pretty. Don't believe them when they tell you that the very best that you can do and be with your life is polite. Don't believe them when they tell you that the very best that you can do and be with your life is cuter than the rest of the girls who are desperate enough to die trying for it, because those are lies. The truth is, there is an entire universe of ideas alive inside of you right now, and they are spinning on the axis of your breath, so rise up and let them out. This is how you can live your life. This is what my mother taught me. She said, be creative and be brave. That way you'll always have guts and good ideas. Be creative and be brave. This is a way to live your life. So I thank my mother and I thank my father, who I'm so grateful I have the opportunity to thank him in public, because I didn't get enough time to thank my mother while she was alive. So I thank my father for all of his sacrifices, for waking me up early to go play tennis, and for loving me the best that his soul could create. And I'm here today because of him and because of my friends and because of artists like Deisha Filia and Brian Broom and Kay Neely and Tina Williams Brewer, who lives around the corner from me and literally kept me alive because I was so poor working in Homewood. I was catching water. My water was shut off for 6 months. I was catching water in a Home Depot bucket off of a broken gutter. And I would be so hungry, and I would walk around the corner to Tina's house, and she would always have something on the stove. She's one of those women, had a pot of something, you know? And she would feed me, and she didn't know that her soul and her food and the love of her hands like literally kept me alive. I give thanks to my partner, Janae. I give thanks to the governor. I give thanks to the First Lady, because it really means something about our humanity to support the arts. I believe in the power of art, and I believe in the power of love. And when you support the arts, you support the power of humanity. You support that love and that magic that is us. So I give infinite gratitude for this opportunity, which they're probably going to take away from me at some point in the future, because I'll do something. But for now, super grateful. Thank you.
This is so grand. Thank you. This is wonderful. Thank you and congratulations, Vanessa, and thank you and congratulations to all of the honorees this evening. You've been grand. You've made it just very, very special. Thank you. On behalf of the governor and myself, on behalf of Tom and myself, thank you, and the Pennsylvania Council of the Arts, we thank the Greater Pittsburgh Arts Council, the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust, and the August Wilson African American Cultural Center for hosting this event this evening, and for Mitch Swain for his leadership and his vision. We also want to thank the generous sponsors who helped make this program and the surrounding activities possible. And many, many thanks to the Pennsylvania Council of the Arts for administering an event which I know that they consider a labor of love. We thank Pennsylvania legislators and the elected officials across the Commonwealth. The arts rely on their strong support to provide access to the arts in every county in the Commonwealth. To all the Pennsylvania Governor's Awards for the Arts honorees, past and present, we thank you for your lasting inspiration. Like former honoree Fred Rogers, many of you are lifelong advocates for the arts and for the importance of the arts in children's lives and their development. And lastly, but very importantly, for the beauty, for the joy, and the meaning that the arts bring to communities across Pennsylvania. We take the opportunity tonight and each year to acknowledge all those in the Commonwealth who make art, who teach the arts, who support the arts, and who love the arts. You motivate learning, you support jobs, you spark innovation, you enhance vibrancy, and you enrich the great cultural heritage of our Commonwealth. We invite everyone here to join us and our honorees in the lobby for a public reception featuring the Pittsburgh cookie table. So quite simply, thank you all, and thank you all for being here tonight, for creating this community of celebration, and for the celebration for the enduring value of the arts in Pennsylvania. Thank you very much.